Okay, so what's going on in the quote unquote metaverse world, if everybody hasn't been keeping up, is that Disney is dropping $2.5 billion into it. Their meeting Epic Games is $2.5 billion. Disney's creating a procedural world. Think Fortnite. Let's use Fortnite terminology. Where Fortnite has evolved into now is Fortnite, the Battle Royale game, is their central hub, but now you can build your own worlds, promoting your own games, making your own income around that. So Disney's taking that business model, but they're going to be really restrictive on their content. But keep in mind, we're compatible with them. We could be a gateway in if that's an option for you. But we'll give you the ability to say you have your game in there and you want to host your own gaming competition or something like that. We could do it in Omniverse City using this system. But we're trying to do that whole everything. We're fixing mistakes with the metaverse. We're fixing the disjointed experience, the dead mall experience, not being able to have fun in it. Really, the whole problem that everybody kept complaining about, you can only just walk around, talk to people, and leave. So this, here, let me share my screen real quick, is going out tonight to get updated. Share. All right. So where's my screen? Okay, cool. So this is the Omniverse City Explorer. This is going to basically be replacing everything that you just saw as far as the home screens, disjointed spaces, everything. So this is the Omniverse City Explorer. This is going live hopefully in the next week. This is your overview of the entire city, your welcome menu, all of our information. We have a building system. It's kind of an introduction to that over here. So from here, you can hop right into this city. This city is our central hub, has everything you need to know within this city. This is where everybody meets up, explores spaces from, and everything. A gallery of all the good times we have in there, some ads, things like that, upcoming spaces. Then we go into the world. This is where you can select. Now, keep in mind, this world won't stay this way. This world procedurally generates. As we need more world, we're going to keep adding to this. So say you come in with a city license, boom, I want to build something this big, brand it for myself. That little tunnel on the top right hand corner, that will lead to the next island where your world now is. And it doesn't even have to be a city. Hell, we could throw you in space. So from here, we can explore our world or your world. You'll also get a copy of this Explorer for yours. So from here, you have your individual businesses that you can discover. Like I've got my game company down here. These links, I believe I have this one just set to go to my website because I don't have a space right now. Yes, this one goes to my website, shows off my Fortnite games. The Mushroom Forest, if we were to click the Mushroom Forest, it'll take us into that space that Charlene was just in. Of course, I got to get the right browser, but so this is our central hub where you discover everything. This is where people's spaces are, all that. From here, now you're in our ecosystem. You want to now you're not into 3D animation or anything like that, but you want to build your own space with that Unreal Engine quality. We have our building system. This is being fleshed out with a lot more assets, game elements that you can build games with. If you want to build a store, this is where you're going to get your kiosks and your virtual item displayers, your Web3 wallet connectors, all that will be available within here. This is also, if you buy a pre-generated space from us, a template or something, you'll be loading that template up in here with load and save over here. It'll be added to this. So we start off with design. We just go right over here. Let's get something a bit prettier. We are adding more assets to this, but yeah, you just press G and just go to building away. Oh, I hit a hiccup. Sorry. Oh, there we go. So yeah, and if you don't like this view, you can switch the view into first person, or you can go that Sims overhead view, and you're just basically just throwing your space away. We've also space together. We've also got the keyboard shortcuts on the right if you'd rather use those. But yeah, you build your space in here, drop your assets, save your space, and then go to the upload space on our marketplace. Upload this. We make this live for you. You go into Pixel Streaming and continue to edit. So after this, let's get out of here. Oops, I pressed the wrong button. Let's go. I forgot that escape stops Unreal Engine. But yeah, that's for the people who want to get in. They want to build their spaces. They don't want to learn Unreal Engine, but they want that Unreal Engine quality. Plus access to our marketplace and stuff. So from here, we enter the city. This is our hub. This is where you visit spaces, go to events, have races. I'm implementing a game into it right now to teach like a teaching tutorial game. So Let's enter the city. And all this will be live a week or I'm thinking a week tops. I'm sending it off tonight, so we load into here real quick. And this will run a lot faster because this is still running in Unreal Engine. Uh, buh, 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 buh. Should load up any second. Oh, yeah, this is going to take a second. It has to generate. I added a few materials. Oh, is that it? There we go. Okay, excuse all my errors on the right side. They don't really mean anything. Okay, so let's give everything. So this is where you'll spawn in, and I'm going to be adding a few more elements in here to help people progress along and show them. And excuse my walk animation. I kind of broke it earlier, but this isn't the one I'm using anyway. So we have our quote unquote dumb AI system implemented into here. So from here, let me set my microphone real quick. And to Ira's question about us having private voice chat and all that, that's going to be all over here. Like when I press enter, you'll have your friends and stuff down here. But yeah. So let's go over here and let's talk to our AI. Hi, who are you? And what's your name and where am I?
Hey there. I'm Charlie Nichols, and I'm absolutely thrilled to meet you. Party Popper, you've just stepped into the enchanting world of Omniverse City, a place where your creativity takes center stage and the future is yours to shape. Welcome aboard, Glowing Star.
Yeah, and they're saying emojis for some weird reason. I'll fix that. So this is a digital representative. Let me ask her. Who are you a digital representative of, and what is your expertise?
I am the digital representative of Charlene Nichols, the visionary founder of Omniverse City. Glowing Star, my expertise lies in the optical industry, digital marketing, and virtual reality technologies. I'm here to inspire and empower.
But basically, we could put her up to the side. So
It seems
she.
like there was a
Oh,
pause there.
sorry about that.
Is there anything
Let
else
me
you'd
run
like to know
away.
or explore about Omniverse City?
So yeah,
I'm here and excited to help.
we've tried to fix that
Smiling
dead
face
mall
with smile.
feeling by implementing these NPCs. Like this NPC here has a name, a backstory, tells you about all the shops around here, any events that are going on. These walking NPCs will eventually say something, but they'll just be very basic knowledge about the city. This is okay. So one of the things we'll be able to offer is what I was saying earlier, a very cheap digital employee just for basic information. So this is mine. Hi, who are you? Who are you a digital representative of, and what organization do you represent? Oh, had an error log. So, who are you? What do you do, and who are you a representative of?
Welcome to Omniverse City. I'm JP1, the AI representation of Jay Pilipovich, the mastermind behind this vibrant virtual world. With
But yeah,
Jay's extensive background in music,
they're basically
gaming,
trained
and
on data
digital world
sets
building,
that
I'm
have
here
our
to
personal
infuse your journey
information,
with
websites,
creativity and
accolades, anything I
innovation.
could basically dig up on you. We've implemented like a lot of fun things to do, so you don't have to really walk if you don't want to. And all these cars, so things that we do for businesses for you guys to make income. For one thing, this city has these billboards. What this billboard is doing right now is actually I've got it set to lovely right now, but that's streaming a website in here. We tested that with Google AdSense. We have to test it online, but we plan on being able to have you implement these into your website. We can also display your domain, stuff like that. We can also put those inside your site. Any gamification stuff like the racing, I don't have the checkpoints turned on right now, but there's actually a racing game implemented. We've got like this is the lovely car right here. I believe these are standard Omniverse City cars, but yeah, all the cars have different wraps and branding on them. The NPCs also guide them towards the games. You, as a creator, have the ability to implement a game within the system if you want your NPCs to do a game within your game. But yeah, it's a lot of stuff to get rid of that boring feel that the metaverse tend to have before. But this is the central hub. If you want to go to, let's go over to the creative district real quick. No, this
And
is the
by
big.
the way, just because it was something that I'd promised to cover on this call, so this is actually the Odyssey level, and our kind of intention is to allow Genesis to be like a place where people learn how to get around Omniverse City, get comfortable, and then they earn their way into Odyssey, OmniFolk, and above. Somebody had asked, what are our license tiers? I'll just kind of share super quick. When you go to our website, you'll see our license tab. So everybody gets an Explorer license for free. In the next week or two, we're going to turn on our OCX limit. So you won't have unlimited use of Omniverse City anymore, but you'll have a fair amount of time, probably an hour or two, to come in every month and check out what's new. We want to continue to keep that free Explorer license open, and a portion of all the sales that we get from our domains go into providing free Explorer licenses so that our clients, you guys, can have people coming in and checking it out that don't have to upgrade. So far, we've kept the cost pretty low. We've had a lot of people sign up for OmniFolk. It's small, $7 upgrade. It gives you a lot of additional time. It gives you access to the builder tools, and
It removes the ads.
Odyssey. Yeah, it gets rid of the ads, but it also gives you access to Odyssey. So that allows us to create like a player's hub with Odyssey. The cool thing is, though, starting at OmniFolk, you get an extra OmniFolk license. That's something new that we've implemented because everybody wants to come with a friend. And the higher your licenses go, the more free licenses you get. So we're giving you a lot of additional free licenses so that you can bring your friends. And someone else had asked kind of how are the costs structured. You can get as much as, I think our highest tier gives you several hundred hours so that you could bring in multiple people and host events and really have fun here. And the tools that you unlock as you move up, for instance, Omnipreneur, you get access to actual business classes where you can become certified, and that opens up new portals for you. So we're not really token gated in our foundational layer of Omniverse City. We're more learning gated. So you're unlocking certifications that give you access to spaces. So when I go into a place that has other omnipreneurs, I know that they have, these different achievements, and it helps me to understand, okay, you've done the time, you've invested in, the Business Breakthrough Accelerator or the Unreal Engine learning course. And, when you're hiring people, you can actually see the certifications they've earned in Omniverse City. And I believe that that's going to make it a lot easier for people to hire and network and build and grow together, because we will have a trusted vetting system. And again, if you have an app or a product that you think would complement Omniverse City, we are entertaining strategic partnerships, and it gives you an opportunity to plug in your product or program using one of our licenses and actually become a part of our program. And our most popular product right now are our zoning licenses. A lot of people are just saying, forget website development. It's, 15 grand to build a website that does what I needed to do. And SEO is kind of wonky these days. So, for $300 to $500 a month, I can have a interactive landing page that has SEO, that drives traffic to my website, that lets me kind of reboot my strategy using these immersive tools. And then I can go back and invest that $10,000, $15,000 in my website once I know what my brand is going to really look like in the future. So if anybody has any other questions about the licenses, we'll be hosting a license breakout sessions, after this event. We'll be sending everyone a follow-up email as well. Any questions?
I forgot I had day-night cycle. Totally forgot about that.
Kevin, I'd love to hear your feedback. I know this is like your world. What are your thoughts?
Turn my microphone back on. I'm looking at it, of course, as we've talked before, organizationally. For those who don't know, as being part of the Council of the World Experience Organization, we have grown so rapidly over just the past 3 years to well over 800 members globally. And we're looking at situations. So what I'm looking at is, if in this world, you can establish a organization. We talked about yesterday on the phone, Charlene, we talked about nonprofits, but just an organization alone, You walk into one of these buildings and it's literally the world of that organization, and only those members can enter.
Yep.
What
That is
will
our
be the restriction controls of spaces?
So that is our community license. That does exist. We actually have a partner that has done that, Continuum. Several Continuum members are here on this meeting, and they can attest to the fact that private meetings are hosted here every single week. They are what we call GSD, aka Get Shit Done meetings, where we all really get to kind of power power update on what everyone is doing and collaborate and build and grow. And a lot of the individuals in this group they go to physical events, and a lot of them can't go to the physical events, so they'll go to the virtual events. And we just hosted a showcase during LA Tech Week. It was remarkably successful. It is token gated, it is community gated, and there are different ways to get in. Some are very obvious. So if you buy this license, then you can become a member. Some are a little less obvious. If you meet Christina at an event in LA Tech Week and she bestows on you the ability to be a community member, then she has a budget of different licenses. So we have the OmniFolk license, which is really more for people who want to watch and spectate. So now the World Experience Organization could have a certain number of OmniFolk licenses for people who want to come sit, watch. Then we have our Omnipreneur licenses. This would probably be more for council members. So they'd be able to get those licenses so they can participate, collaborate, and grow. And then you have these Omnicast license. Maybe the World Experience Organization starts growing these incredible domains. Maybe they build domains for experience creators, placemakers, nonprofits. And these domains have some utilities that Omniverse City offers, and maybe some that we don't offer. Maybe you have a partnership with a fundraising platform or a Web3 platform. You can work with our team to integrate everything natively into these domains. And now you can basically have people come in and buy these domains from the World Experience Organization. And you can even decide if these will be exclusive to WXO members or if they'll be made available to people outside of the community. And you can even make a portion of the proceeds from these domains benefit the community. So think about these community organizations as a DAO without the blockchain component, but then you can add the blockchain component in and make it a real DAO if you'd like. Kevin, I want to let you continue, but Marco, can you come off camera, come off mute?
Yes.
I'd love for you to speak to that a little bit, because I know you were fairly new to the metaverse world, although you're building an incredible immersive platform. I think your platform is very beneficial to what the World Experience Organization is building, and you are part of Continuum. Can you speak a little bit about what being a part of a gated community is like in the Omniverse City?
Well, it's, and again, fairly new experience-wise for me personally, but I think first and foremost, it's a bespoke group, meaning it kind of, for me, cuts through a lot of the chafe of connecting with adept people in different aspects of, be it Web3 or general investing. I know that one of the big value adds for us as we transition into a Web3 company are the sort of like auditing services that are available through Christina, so that as we continue to go to market and potentially are sussing out investment, that we, through a third party, i.e. Continuum Markets, can offer de-risking and a good product, because ultimately we are no better than our tech stack and our corporate environment. And so we get another set of eyes, another set of wide-ranging eyes through our membership with Continuum Markets. And then how that extends into our conversation today with Omniverse City, Your Guides is in the travel space. And travel, on the surface is a physical activity that occupies sort of the real world as it is. But the barriers to travel are often extreme for the majority of people in the world. So this, digital twinning and creating virtual worlds really breaks down barriers to travel for not only like our members within Your Guides, but also perspective and people just who are curious about the world. We like to say that um, the best ambassadors, the best foreign policy out there is achieved through travel and through integrating different cultures to get diversified background and ultimately shine a light on all of us as individuals. So the lofty takeaway from what I'm saying here is that what we are doing in the physical and digital world are truly making the world a better place. And our world is, it's like it kind of hurts right now, but we all have very bright perspectives. And so if we can build seamless tools for people to access other cultures, other technologies, then we will have done our job.
Awesome. Thank you, Marco. And Kevin, Continuum does have a service. They are a collaborative community. They are a consortium, and they have been doing this for a very long time. And it was like wrangling cats every time they did a session, Zoom or this or that. It never worked. And Continuum came to Omniverse City for that constant connectivity. And because of that, her community has grown dramatically, and she has made Omniverse City her core strategic partner on the metaverse front, because outside of the fact that they're a Web3 company, just simply as a connective community, there's not a lot of ways to create this kind of like truly decentralized meeting platform like what we're on now, which is, again, Hands In. Shout out to Hands In, one of our partners. But they were attracted to Omniverse City and us to them because we have common goals. And the more of us that come together with these common goals and begin using these tools, Marco's here representing Your Guides and trying to learn how he's going to use the program to build that. He's also representing Continuum. And maybe somebody on this call today says, hey, I do want to build something that is risky. And I would like to have somebody who can watch my back. So you'd be able to now, as a part of the Omniverse City, join the Continuum district. Now it's not just about, having access to a virtual world. It's about having access to a real community. And I think, Kevin, and I'd like to kind of toss it back to you, WXO has a real world role in the way that our world is shaping. And I think, there's a lot of things that you can achieve here much more quickly than you probably could any other way.
Yeah, I mean, some of the biggest challenges for those who are not familiar with what the World Experience Organization is about, it's technically anybody who's in the experience business. And I explained to Charlene yesterday on the phone, there's two sides of the coin. There are the experience businesses. These are places we'll just use like Starbucks, Build-A-Bear. They are businesses that leverage experience to move product, sell offerings, whatever. And then there are the business of experiences. These are organizations that do events, for instance, one of our primary members is the group that was behind, God, I'm losing my Meow Wolf, that is now planning its 15th location. It's currently actively 8 involved. They're incorporating restaurants now as experiences. And when I say Meow Wolf gets into an experience, if you've never been to one, there's no way to explain it. It's a
I actually know the architectural team that built it. Actually, Charlene Gray and them built it. That's one of Gray's projects.
No,
Yeah,
get
they built that.
out.
Yeah, Bakery Design Group. That's I used to work for them a long time ago, and then I went off on my own to do this whole metaverse thing. But they build amusement parks, big fancy restaurants. Basically, they've been in business for about 80 years. Any amusement park you've ever been to, they built it.
Wow.
But the Meow thing, I remember Gray telling me that's what they were actually working on a new location recently. That's what they were working on.
Yeah, so of course, their best launch to date was the one in Dallas area, and of course now they have Austin, they've got Colorado. I haven't been to the Denver one yet, just because Mother Nature doesn't let me get there at the times I want to get there. But that testing those becomes an issue, especially when you have such a large organization of experiential designers,
Absolutely.
Yeah, there are art department. So budget allows, they're more than willing to come on and help you design your space. And we're actually I'm working with them right now. We're working on a system to bring these virtual worlds into the real world, and a lot of stuff that we're just not allowed to talk about. But it's basically taking like that real world experience building knowledge that they have, and then this metaverse knowledge that we've accumulated these last few years, and merging those two together.
Yeah, and you can see where that in our organization, in our world, that is a huge benefit for testing out concepts, especially if you have somebody who's just now getting into the experience industry, especially if they're dealing with immersive arts or they're dealing with placemaking. They can actually have the eyes of a whole organization basically beat it to death and see what happens. That's where the advantage of an organizational control, or what I used to call a neighborhood in previous VRs. When you have a neighborhood that is controlled, that way they can establish testing areas and build up their own formats. This is what interested me in this world, because I was telling Charlene, I've gone through a lot of different, quote, social gaming events. And we had a kind of fun discovering what the name of was the last one I had to deal with. And each one of those, they had their advantages and disadvantages. The biggest disadvantage to most of those was the idea of having that organizational control, having that, I don't want to call them branded environments, but the ability to allow members of just that clique work within that environment. So that would be something very interesting to see how that would function if we were to quote give them test buildings and see what they could do.
Well, I want to give Rich one last opportunity to talk about how he's doing exactly what you're talking about, Kevin, with Kansas City, because Kansas City is the first world that we're building. It's a multiverse that is not actually going to be a part of the Omniverse City map. It's going to be a new map. Let's call it like a white label version of Omniverse City.
I was going to say, this is a good example. When I was mentioning earlier, not to cut you off, Charlene, but that's what I was, when somebody had asked, I said, can these systems come over to ours? This Kansas City, that Explorer I just showed you, Kansas City will have its own version of that with its own city in it, its own Explorer, locations you can go to. It'll be the Kansas City Explorer, not the Omniverse Explorer.
Absolutely. And then I want to give Gabriel an opportunity to kind of close us on talking very specifically about the creative district. And it's very important to know that our team is growing dramatically. Gabriel and Rich are two district managers. Gabriel's managing the district of the creative district in Omniverse City. Rich is managing the whole Kansas City multiverse, which is going to have tons of districts springing out from everywhere, because Rich is quickly become very clear on the architecture of Omniverse City and how to build his community around the hubs that can be built virtually. So Rich, over to you. And then Gabriel, I can't wait to hear from you.
Yeah, and then just kind of just piggybacking off what everybody said, and Kevin, I'd definitely like to get in touch about the St. Louis thing. My brother actually stays out in St. Louis, so maybe I make a little business trip out there and kind of scope the place out. But kind of what I'm seeing with the digital twins and what I've been seeing from, again, the real estate development side of things, we see a lot of Mattel just recently just announced that they're getting the Barbie experience, and basically they're gonna have He-Man and all these different type of things. But a lot of people here in the community won't see that for a few years. But being able to create a digital twin of that through a 3D rendering, obviously, Jay, with the side of theme parks and things like that, we can be able to create that immersion, get input from people, and especially before it's built and before you make those mistakes on maybe creating something that people don't want, you can be able to get that feedback through the data of showing that maybe too many people didn't go to this ride specifically. And I'm just talking to amusement parks, but then you have different things like in the restaurant side of things of maybe if you want to add a bar, people, you can kind of tell if people go there or not to be able to claim these digital kind of coupons that maybe get them a real coupon in real life. So to Jay's point, I think that what the metaverse really missed to begin with was they didn't really connect it properly to the real world. And I think that's what we want to be able to leverage to our advantage with this digital twin of Kansas City. I think that especially from my conversations, a lot of people grasp this when we take away the tech talk and we talk directly to their industry needs. And being able to visualize things that maybe, for instance, in an energy company, you can show lightning bolts to show how many kilowatts and those different type of things that now people can understand your industry differently. And then now they trust your brand, which obviously leads to more attention, which then, ROI and all those different type of things follow after that. So again, I just really just see that this is just the next iteration of the internet. A lot of people are just more or less, and it's just human nature. We naturally complexify things for no reason. But I just think that it's no different from the websites, but it's just a more immersive experience, more visual experience. And again, I can't remember. Josh had spoke. Joshua had spoke on it, and that was a very telling point on what you had mentioned. Is that this is for a lot of people, we forget about those people that this technology can give another opportunity to those different type of things or adversities in life that happen to come up. And again, I at first, again, I'd never really had thought about it, but to be able to showcase, people in a way that they want to be depicted, and then now for the time on then, like we talk about legacy, we have that opportunity to be able to create those kind of spaces. So again, I mean, I'm excited, Joshua. I definitely would be, love to talk about opportunities here in Kansas City, to be able to showcase your story and stuff like that. Because again, I think that this technology is more than just gamified stuff. It's a different type of way to express human nature, as we say. And I think that that's where we're kind of at this crossroads of understanding how these many different industries can do that. So yeah. No, I'm trying to, like I said, it's my allergies, you know what I mean? But no, again, I think that I'm definitely excited about this. Gabriel, I definitely want to hear your point on what you're bringing to the space as well, too. But again, I'm excited. Charlene, appreciate us bringing us all on here today.
Absolutely.
And,
And Gabriel, just to kind of tell you a little bit about Gabriel and his role with Omniverse City. When we say we're bootstrapped and we're founder operated, if anybody ever questions that for the rest of my career, they could speak to Gabriel, because Gabriel was the one who talked me down from many ledges in the very beginning, when we were just building this from our dreams. Like, there was no real reference of what the Omniverse City was going to be. We had no clue. We were just building literally pixel by pixel, dream by dream. We didn't have Jay. We didn't even have Gotham, our brilliant engineer that designed the AI you saw earlier. We had this early kind of architectural visualization project that we wanted it to be so much bigger. And Gabriel is heading up our creative department, our creative district. And Gabriel, I'd like you to just kind of tell us all the things, Gabriel.
Hello everyone. It's an honor to be here today. Well, I think this is a very anecdote. I won't tell the story about us because I need to one day to conversation. But I want to start to share by sharing something that really resonates deeply with me. And more these days, I was in touch with people, and imagination comes to the table. And we all have dreams, don't we? And I think dreams, we have dreams that what we could become and the impact we could make. But often I feel like people feel dreams like fantasies, intangible, out of reach. Many beliefs that whether the achieved, maybe is a matter of destiny, or maybe I have a dream but it's too big and I don't believe that I can possible make true. So I think here it is an element of psychology that, but that belief is wrong. It's not the destiny, it's our own limits, our own self limits system of beliefs that stops the possibilities. The mind convinces that our dreams are too far fetched or too unrealistic, but that it's a belief, and I think that is the point where we inability our dreams beyond what we think it's possible to dream. And yet, if you remember, and we break the story, has begun with someone like Einstein, Walt Disney, Steve Jobs. All these kind of brilliant minds start with imagination. The first step in imagination is the core innovation to spark the drives of human progress. So I think the society discouraged this when you grow up, and in the last century, when you think you are a child in the corporations, is some kind of a stupid thing. I remember when I was interviewing a bank when I was 20, something like that, in university, and they refused me because psychologists said that I was too much I have too much imagination for the job. Anyway, imagination, was just for kids and in the corporation and the business. But I think the rule has changed. The new era is in front, and we need a new way of thinking. And imagination is at the forefront of this, because imagination. Well, I remember Walt Disney say, "If you can imagine, you can do it." But I can feel that imagination is something that we don't trust we have, or we are not so creative. And people come to me and say, "Gabriel, I would love to say, I mean, I would love to make something business, some idea for the future, but I cannot imagine. I cannot imagine what I can do." And this is not about of metaverse; it's about of mindset. What I want for the future, and I want what I want to become myself, and how I'm going to impact. Then I have an idea. We create this concept of narrative studio because we see that people has not the, the, the tool for visualization, which is a technique. Visualization, people cannot imagine an apple in their mind for some time. So we create this narrative studio, and we've been helping people to try to understand that you have a concept, but this is not enough. It's not technology what is driving digital transformation. You need a narrative for your brand. You need a personality. You need a brand DNA. And then people start to understand, because we put in front with chat pgt image and possibilities to create, to bring to life your mindset about your idea. And this starts to work because we are helping about to show the people how to imagine that people people I think people is scared to imagine, or people is scared to talk, or people is scared to to become with a team of people experts. Because I'm a student, this morning came to me some student of South University of California and say, "Hey, I have a lot of energy and I have a lot of dreams, and you say dreamology is the science to gamify my dreams and achieve my goals." And I said, "Yes," because we put, when a fantasy, when a dream stop to become a fantasy, is when you put a deadline. And we put a deadline first, and then we put gamification. And gamification, it's a little magic because opens a door in the mind where dopamine push you to do things. So that is why we can we have created a program of accelerating for your business and projects. And this is the promise of Dreamology, that you can dream big, because we're going to gamify your dreams. And this is a new science to achieve your goals.
Well, thank you, Gabriel. And one of the first things that Gabriel and I realized once the Omniverse City became a lot more like it is now, it became a lot more interactive and immersive, is we realized that culture was actually only proximity based in the real world, because social media kind of connected us, um, but it didn't really give us the ability to um, learn from each other's culture, and whatever culture we learned there was not good. Okay, but now we have this opportunity in these virtual worlds, and this is very important what I'm about to say. So please realize this isn't just like a buzzword, or like me just trying to be cute. This is I'm very, very passionate about this. Culture is something we're all proud of. A lot of us come from, places. We come from, you know, countries. We come from cultures that have all sorts of beliefs and artistic expression. And this is a place where you can showcase that very, very, very authentically. And I think we're going to be giving a lot of cities, a lot of states, a lot of countries, the ability to truly showcase their culture and invite people in. How many times have we gone to a city and we see like their local parade and we're like, wow, this is really cool. I didn't know, I didn't know this was a thing. A big example of that is like Wisconsin. We didn't know there was a culture around cheese. Rich was explaining to me in Kansas City, there's a culture around stadiums and around fountains. Maybe you weren't passionate about stadiums and fountains, but maybe by learning from the people who live there, why they're passionate about that, all of a sudden you develop this interest. You start Googling it, you start watching documentaries, you start really immersing yourself in that culture. The space we're in now is a space that Gabriel dreamed to life. An optometrist. Shout out to Dr. Pam Terrio. She wanted to build an office in the Omniverse City. She's an optometrist and she focuses on dry eye, but she didn't really know how to make a dry eye space relevant in the metaverse. She didn't want to just do a basic office. How could she showcase, the utility of what she was trying to do here? So Gabriel envisioned an office with a window that allowed you to see the desert, but inside the dry eye office, there was this gorgeous oasis where you could visualize water, and it was just a spectacular way to leverage the visualization of the space. So thank you guys for joining us. We went way over time. We're so excited for everyone that stayed with us. Absolutely incredible to see your interest and your commitment. Any other questions or any other requests or ideas? We'd love to hear them before we wrap up here.
I just wanted to let everybody know that there's an entire generation of iPad kids that are getting ready to outgrow the platforms that they're on, and they're going to look for something a little bit more grown up. And the biggest competitor that I see right now for us is what Disney's working on right now, and they're making the same mistake.
All right.
They're creating another Roblox when these guys are outgrowing Roblox. So we're going to have a platform for them to come to. And then on top of that, we've already beat Sony's Concord Games numbers. We already are starting to get the following. We're starting to get a following that a lot of indie games would just kill to have,
And we'll be sending an email to everyone on this call to invite you to our Omnipreneur license. We were going to give out a limited number, but I was so impressed by the engagement and really touched and inspired by some of the questions and ideas that we want everyone to get an idea. We want everyone to get a little deeper into Omniverse City and get an idea of what we're doing here and why we're doing it. So I'll be kind of ending the call. I'll be jumping off. It will stay on. So if you guys want to chat amongst yourselves, you're welcome to do so. But thank you so very much to everyone who showed up today, and
Bravo, bravo, bravo.
seeing you in the future.